Hey, my name is Austin, and as the title suggests, you are watching the video production with an iPhone from the beginner's perspective. I'm a complete beginner when it comes to video production, even though I've already released several videos prior to this, but before that, I really have no experience in video production, and this is a progress video for myself, and I wanted to see that with each upload that I make, I actually improve in my technique and my storytelling skill and my ability to make my content interesting. There are 5 main aspects of this whole process that I would like to talk about, and this is based solely on my own experiences making videos from having no experience to this point in time where I have some released videos and the progression of my own journey of editing at this point. And the first aspect I wanted to talk about is ideas. Now, before any of this ever became content that's uploaded to YouTube, I originally wanted to just film videos on me learning how to alter my clothes. And because I didn't know how to do it personally, I went to my grandmother who has a sewing machine, and she was happy and willing to teach me. So that was the initial start of me filming with my phone on making videos. It was during that process where I wanted to be able to look back on my own progress on sewing. But after a while, filming all that caused me to realize I don't actually have that many pieces of clothing I need to alter. And that got me scratching my head again, because if I wanted to keep consistent with it, if I wanted to build the skills of video production, I needed consistent practice to get better at my skills. And I decided to just write down all the ideas I had, even if they're just completely stupid. I just wrote everything down, and they helped me not just with the brainstorming, but also on how to look for videos that I could possibly make that's not just for me, but also people who might be watching videos. Essentially, I have lineups of video ideas that I will look up and see if I can make something better. And I will just make it to the best of my ability with the knowledge that I had to create what I wanted to create. And it's through that process that's helped me kind of not dismiss any idea that I have, whether they're just stupid or they're smart. Anything I had on my mind, I wrote down. I saw those moments as opportunities to just keep on making more, to just keep practicing, to keep myself consistent. Now that you have the ideas written down, and I mean all the ideas, the good and the bad, the next step will be to script them out. Now you might be thinking, this isn't a movie or a TV show. Why do I need to script? Can I just talk to the camera casually? And I used to think that way too. The more I did it, the more I realized that I'm terrible at freestyling. If I just go on about speaking casually, we hear a bunch of filler words like and the video would drag on. That would cause you or any other viewer to more than likely click off to another more interesting video. The reason I started scripting was because I wanted to make my words more effective and use my time wisely. So since you're watching this video, you might be wondering what my setup looks like. Currently, I am a one-man show, and basically that means I do everything from the very beginning to the very end. My setup consists of my iPhone, which is what's recording myself right now. It's sitting on a tripod for stable footage. I use my lamp for control lighting and my laptop for editing. I don't use anything fancy right now, and I don't use natural lighting at the moment because as a beginner, I mess up a lot and the lighting in the footages look very different. So right now, I use control lighting just because it helps me maintain a similar look scene to scene. I don't have a microphone, so whatever sound is recorded on my phone right now, that's what's being recorded. I'm trying to slowly but steadily build up my production, so eventually I have more professional equipment for better production. As a beginner, I think it's a priority to focus on developing the skills. And that's why I'm not too concerned about getting the fanciest camera, the fanciest software at the moment, because even if I do have that software, even if I do have the best camera, if I don't know how to use them, chances are it's going to be about the same quality as if I'm filming it from my phone. So as a beginner, if that's where you are right now, focus on developing your skills. Now let's talk about the actual filming. As I said, this is not a fancy, expensive camera. I'm just recording this on my iPhone, which is good enough at the moment. And I'm using control lights because I'm a beginner, so when I film, I make a lot of mistakes. That means there are certain segments where you can tell when the lighting is off, and that's mostly due to natural light. As much as I prefer natural light, the lighting in the footage matters, and you can tell how much of a different your footage looks based on the light that you use. And I use my tripod for stability. When I made my very first few videos, I filmed with my hand, and I could not tell you how bad those footages were. They were shaky, they did not get the audio correct, and I had to do retakes on retakes, and that caused frustration for me as well as the person who is trying to show me how to do certain things. And I figured I would just make my life easier. Get a tripod, make sure that I get stable footage like this. Eventually, I'm going to need a tripod anyway, so I might as well just use one now. If you don't have a tripod to use, you can lean it against a book, you can lean it against a wall, you know, something that kind of just stabilizes your footage. That way, and when you're watching it, you're not shocked at how wobbly the footage actually is. How do you know if your footage is good? From my own experience, I drop my footage into my editor, and that is how I know if it's good or bad. That's actually the next topic we are going to dive into. I use Final Cut Pro as my editing software, and as you might have guessed, yes, that's on a Mac. Prior to that, I used iMovie, and honestly, that was the introduction for me to begin making videos. And while I was using iMovie, I coupled that with apps on my phone to help make editing easier, and because those apps also came with free music to use, I thought those were convenient, so I heavily relied on phone apps for video editing. And the reason why I made the jump to Final Cut Pro is because even though the phone apps were good, I saw that as a good investment for myself and my skills to be able to use a software that's more powerful, and I can practice with that so I can have first-hand experience on working with a more professional editor. That's why I decided to start learning how to use Final Cut Pro. And I'm not gonna lie about it, being a beginner, editing probably takes up the most time because you are sifting through footage and sounds and anything else you want to add. Learning the whole process and getting used to it will take some time. As you learn more and more from watching different creators and their process, you begin to put different pieces together and you create your own system. So that's a really important step along the way, is to figure out how to use a system and make everything flow better, flow smoother. And one thing I've always kept on the back of my mind is how my audience will view my content and how they will react. So if I edit it too long, I know that my audience will probably just skip away or click on a different video, and I lost that viewer. So my edits are intentionally going to be short because I know that people today have shorter attention spans. So if you drag something on for too long, you're going to lose your attention. And you don't want that when you're making videos. And that actually gives us a pretty good segue to another topic, which is your audience and where to find them. As a beginner, honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't have that many viewers, and those that do watch my videos, I appreciate you so much. You have no idea how much that means to me. And a little shameless plug right here. If you like my video, please feel free to share it with your friends, your family, or anybody who you think might get something out of my videos. That helps both me and this channel to not only see what kind of content you like, but also what content I should be making more of. So if you're watching this as a beginner, please keep this in mind. Most likely, your very first videos are going to be terrible. And I mean that with no disrespect. I get super awkward when I rewatch them just because of how it came out from my editor, and also when I share it with my friends and family. But the thing is, everyone has to start somewhere, so unless you really know what you're doing, most likely you are going to have a result that you might be embarrassed of showing others. But let me just tell you this, it's okay because you're a beginner. Your first few videos are supposed to be that way. Whenever we start something, we always start somewhere. And guess what? That's just an opportunity for you to grow. That's a chance for you to keep on making videos so you can see yourself get better and better each time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a like and comment to let me know how I'm doing. I'll see you in the next one.